back again. That's all right. Yeah. Son, so we can warm up in here. It's cold. Running. What, ma'am? Oh, okay. They should never leave these chairs. What, this? Yes. I think I'm just gonna throw it over my shoulders. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Actually, I'm okay now. I'm just gonna put mine down here like this. And then if I need it, yeah. Yeah, I know. Then you can wear it.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Texas City Council. Today is Monday, May the 9th, 2022. We'd like to welcome all of you who are joining us in the audience this evening, as well as those who are joining us online. At this time, I'll call upon our City Secretary, Ms. Jennifer Evans, to provide a roll call. Ms. Evans?
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
Ms. Page?
Here.
Mr. Harp?
Here.
Ms. Matlock?
Here.
Ms. Hart?
Here.
All right, we do have a full council this evening, and our invocation and pledge will be led by Councilmember Mary Hart. If everyone will please stand.
Let us pray. Father God in heaven, our maker and creator, we come before you humbling ourselves, God, asking you to bless us as only you can. We come before you also giving thanks for all that you have done for us and continue to do. We come before you in the name of Jesus, asking that this council that represents this city has been the best that it can be and will continue to do those things that are pertaining to the people of this city, the employees of this city, and that we shine like a bright shining light out on a hill. Father, we just want to thank you once again and bless everyone here in every way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. We have now moved into our summer schedule in reference to our council meetings, so we'll just be having one council meeting for the next couple of months. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, June the 13th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. And then our meeting in July will be held on Monday, July the 11th, once again at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. We have a lot of parks and recreation events that are taking place throughout the city, and I'd like to run down the list for you just right quick. On May the 14th, we'll have our biannual community yard sale at Spring Lake Park. Also on May the 14th, which is this coming Saturday, the electronics recycling will be taking place once again at Spring Lake Park. May 21st and 22nd, the FASA softball tournament will be held at Carr Park. May 21st and 22nd, the P2A baseball tournament at Spring Lake Park. And May the 26th, movies in the park, with the feature being Clifford the Big Red Dog, will be shown at Spring Lake Park, and the movies at the park will start at dusk, and there will be concessions available for the movie. In June, on June the 2nd, movies in the park will continue. The title of the movie will be Dog. Once again, will be held at dusk. Concessions will be available at Spring Lake Park. June 4th and 5th is the 3v3 soccer tournament at Wallace Park. And June the 6th, the Rotary Splash Pad opens at Spring Lake Park. June the 9th, movies in the park. Encanto is the featured movie. June the 9th, Employee Community Health and Wellness Fair. That'll be held at the Southwest Center. June the 11th, the Dragon Boat races will continue. That's done through Hands On Texarkana, and that will be held at the Bringle Lake Park. June 11th and 12th is the FASA softball tournament at Carr Park, and then June the 13th, the summer camp begins, and that will be held at the Southwest Center. So a lot of exciting activities taking place as we get ready for summer, and additional parks and recreation information can be found on the city's website or by contacting the city staff at 903-798-3978. This evening I have two proclamations to present. The first one is entitled Economic Development Week, which is May the 9th through the 13th. As we all know, economic development is critically important for our community and for our region, and we are very blessed to have professionals at work in our community when it comes to economic development. We have Rob Sitterly here this evening with Architects Ready. We also have Mike Malone with the Texarkana Chamber of Commerce, and we want to thank you, gentlemen, for the great work that you do promoting economic development in our region. I'm going to read the proclamation, and then when I get through, I'm going to ask Rob if you will come up, and is Mike? There's Mike. Both of you gentlemen would come up, and I will present the proclamation and take a couple of photos right quick. Economic Development Week, May 9th through 13th, 2022. Whereas economic development is acknowledged as an important goal of the greater Texarkana region, and whereas local organizations such as the Texarkana USA Regional Chamber of Commerce, Architects Ready, Tex America Center, Chamber Economic Development Council, City of Texarkana, Texas, City of Texarkana, Arkansas, and the public and private economic developers provide leadership and excellence in economic development for communities, citizens, businesses, and partners through advisory services, communication, research, in-depth publications, and public policy advocacy. And whereas economic development promotes economic well-being and quality of life for communities by creating, retaining, and expanding jobs that facilitate growth, enhance wealth, and provide a stable tax base. And whereas economic development stimulates and incubates entrepreneurism in order to help establish the next generation of new businesses, which is the hallmark of the American economy. And whereas leaders in economic development are engaged in a wide variety of settings, including rural and urban, local, state, provincial, and federal governments, public-private partnerships, chambers of commerce, universities, and a variety of other institutions. And whereas economic developers attract and retain high-quality jobs, develop vibrant communities, and improve the quality of life in their regions. And whereas economic developers work in the Texarkana region, encompassing Texas and Arkansas, and now therefore I, Bob Brugman, Mayor of the City of Texarkana, Texas, do hereby proclaim the week of May 9th through 13th, 2022 as Economic Development Week, and remind individuals of the importance of this community celebration, which supports expanding career opportunities and making lives better. I have signed the proclamation. It has been attested by Jennifer Evans, City Secretary, City of Texarkana, Texas, and the city seal has been affixed to the proclamation. So I'm going to ask Rob and Mike, Lisa, where's Lisa? Lisa Thompson with the City of Texarkana, Texas. Is there anyone else here representing an economic development group that I've overlooked? Okay, all right. If you all would come forward. I asked them if they wanted to say something, and there was no hesitation. They said no. So we'll move along to the second proclamation this evening in reference to Kids to Parks Day. Whereas May 21st, 2022 is the 12th Kids to Parks Day organized and launched by the National Park Trust, held annually on the third Saturday of May. And whereas Kids to Parks Day empowers kids and encourages families to get outdoors and visit local parks, public lands, and waterways. And whereas all children should be encouraged to lead a more active lifestyle to help combat issues of childhood obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and hypercholesterolemia. Man, that's a long word. And whereas Kids to Parks Day will broaden children's appreciation for nature and the outdoors. And whereas Kids to Parks Day will recognize the importance of recreating responsibly while enjoying the benefits of the outdoors. Now, therefore, I, Bob Brigman, Mayor of the City of Texarkana, Texas, do hereby proclaim May 21st, 2022 as Kids to Parks Day. Once again, I have signed the proclamation. It's been attested by Jennifer Evans, City Secretary, and the City seal has been affixed to the proclamation. And Robbie Robertson, who is our Parks and Recreation Director, is not here. I understand he is in another country for a wedding, and so wish him well with that. But Robbie and the staff from the Parks and Recreation Department do a tremendous job of keeping our parks clean and mowed and maintained, and we are very fortunate to have these parks throughout our city for families to come and enjoy with their children or with their grandchildren to exercise or utilize the playground or the ball fields or anything like that. So we want to thank our Parks and Recreation Department for the great work that they do. This time we'll move along to open forum comments from the public. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to address the council, you're welcome to do so. You will have up to 5 minutes to speak on a particular topic. If you are here this evening and you want to speak on one of our public hearing items, then I respectfully ask that you please wait until we get to that public hearing item. We'll be more than happy to listen to your comments at that time. We do ask that you fill out one of the yellow sheets on the wall rack there if you're wanting to address the council. Ms. Evans, did you have any sheets turned in? You did not? Okay. Sir, are you wanting to address the council? Yes, sir. Okay. All right. What we'll do is you can go ahead. We'll go ahead and let you speak if you'll come forward. And then if you'll fill out the sheet and give it to Ms. Evans before you leave this evening. Okay? So I ask first if you'll please state your name for the record.
Yes, sir, I will. My name is Charles Stokes.
Good evening, Mr. Stokes. We're glad to have you with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm here. I've been knowing you a long time. I remember when you first ran for mayor, you had the neck thing on many years ago, and you came through Newtown, and we supported you, and I'm still supporting you. You have been a good man, and I thank you for everything. I'm here on the zoning in Ms. Mallock's zone. They wrote me a letter, and they about to put a construction telecommunication tower right across the street from my property. I'm here to let
Where is that, sir? Can you give
that's
us the
on
address?
Dodge Street
Okay.
and Lincoln. Dodge
Okay.
Street and Norton Street.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And I talked to the zoning council last week, and I talked to them about my views of the tower. And I informed them that, I'm from Texarkana. Ms. Mallock and her as well. We were first class to integrate Texas High, so I'm from here. After I left Texas High, I went in the Army, and I stayed 21 years, and I come back. My mother got sick, and was passing. So when I got back, I noticed the kids wasn't going door to door during Halloween, and that concerned me. So with the support from her in the community, I started to save Halloween for the kids, the little kids. She supported me and everything. So I'm here for the kids and concern that I have fought for them for 21 years in the park, have 400 or 500 to 1,000 kids come through to make sure they have safe havens to go somewhere and don't have to worry about things. And being from Texarkana and born on this lot, that's my neighborhood. And I'm down for the kids. I would raise a lot of cane about the kids because they are vulnerable. They don't know anything. We have to teach them. And that's been me trying to take care of these babies. And last year, the chief of police called me, and he said, well, why don't you roll with us in Spring Lake Park, give you a rest? And that was an honor. So we went to Spring Lake Park, and we had over 8,000 kids come through. It was amazing.
Yes,
and
I
it was
saw
an
the
honor.
traffic. I know there were a lot of people there.
Yes, sir. We was there. They thank God for emergency, 24-hour emergency. Dr. Young, very supportive, and it was an honor to go out. And the kids had a ball, but during COVID, it was hard. I didn't know how I was going to do it for the babies, but I had friends to get me masks and shields, and the kids looked like little doctors and stuff. Would carry the candy and food to the cars. It was a drive-through. So this, well, Mr. Stokes, you started it, let's do that. And that's what we did. So my main concern is, Mayor, and thank you for having me, is that I talked to the zone department and I talked to Mr. Joe Gardy, the agent, and I told him that that is too close. And during 21 years in the Army, that's what I did, Mayor. Communication satellites, towers, in the snow on the mountains. And I gave him my experience about G5, G6 is too strong to be around people. And where you have trying to locate it, that's not a good place. Right across the street from me. And those kids are coming up from the park, trying to open up a little place there for snow cones and hot dogs. And I gave my expression, that's no good. And they listened to me, the council listened to me. And he admitted to me in here, it is too close, Charles. Well, that's what I did in the military. I know signals. That's what I do. And I'm informing, I told the council, it's too close. Move it further back because it's those signals, they deter your hearing, sometimes your thinking. And when we was in the military, we made sure everyone got away from the shots going out. And so that is my concern, that they do not put that tower there. And I'm concerned about the kids. And that's why I'm here, to make sure they're safe and that I'm willing to go anywhere to make sure they're safe. And that's my reason for being here, man. I thank you and the council for having me.
Okay, Mr. Stokes, thank you very much for being here this evening. David, is that coming to the council, and will that be coming in July?
Yes, I believe there will be a first briefing in June and then a public hearing later in July on this item.
Okay, so Mr. Stokes, we do have this scheduled for a first briefing in our next council meeting. I mean, you're welcome to be here if you would like.
Yes,
And
sir.
we'll have a public hearing the following month in July. We're in our summer schedule now, so we're only meeting once a month. So there'll be a public hearing in July on this particular subject matter.
And I talked to them last week, and I let them know that I was going to be here, to let them know. And they didn't give me a specific date, but I have dates here, and I was kind of informed.
Yes, sir. The first briefing should be on June the 13th, and the public
Right.
hearing should be on July the 11th.
I got it. Yes, sir.
All right,
I
we
will.
thank
And
you.
I thank you for your time.
Okay, we thank
The
you for
council.
being here. And Mr. Stokes, if you don't mind, if you, on your way back to your seat, if you could pick
Yes,
one of
sir.
those sheets up, and if you don't mind filling that out for us, so we'll have a written record of your being here, and give that to Ms. Evans, the city secretary.
And I will be back, sir.
Okay.
And
all
I
right.
thank you for your support.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening, sir. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the council this evening? If not, we'll move along to our appointments to boards and commissions and committees. Do we have any appointments this evening to any boards, commissions, or committees? All right, hearing none, we'll move along to items for consideration. We have one item on the consent agenda. Item 1 is to consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council held on April 25th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Is there a motion for approval of the item? Motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Williams. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Consent agenda has been approved. We have 2 action items this evening. Item 2 is resolution number 2022-034, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Hub International, Texas, of Dallas, Texas, in an amount not to exceed $50,000 with funds budgeted in the Employee Benefits Fund, Fund 702, to provide consulting services for insurance benefits provided to city employees. And we have J.W. Bramlett, who is going to provide us with additional information. Good evening, J.W.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you all vote tonight, I just wanted to take a moment to introduce Brandon Wilson with Hub International and give him an opportunity to speak to you for a minute.
Okay. All right. Good evening, Mr. Wilson.
Good evening. Thanks for y'all's time. I appreciate being here. It's been a pleasure working with you guys over the last couple of years. I used to be the account manager for the city of Texarkana up until I was promoted into a new position, but still serving this and with Hub International to where I'm still a part of helping out in regards to reviewing your benefits and working with them on a regular basis. With the team that we have of Brent Weeger and Jill Thorpe as well. We enjoy working with you guys and look forward to working with you guys more in the future. Any questions?
Any questions? Okay. We certainly appreciate your time being with us this evening.
Thank
sir.
you. Much appreciated.
All right. You're welcome.
Oh, let me step back. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, J.W. Any questions or comments by the council on this item? All right. If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval. Is there a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams. We have a second by Councilmember Page. This item pertains to a resolution, so there's not a caption. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes unanimously. Moving along to item number 3, resolution number 2022-046, nominating Brim Healthcare of Texas, LLC, for the Texas Enterprise Zone Program. And we have that scheduled for your consideration this evening. We have Lisa Thompson to provide us with additional information on this item. Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This resolution is an opportunity for you to support the application of Brim Healthcare to the Governor's Office for an incentive opportunity. This came about, a consultant approached David and I about 2 weeks ago asking to be put on the agenda. Ryan LLC is representing Brim Healthcare, which is the company that will expand Wadley's footprint in our community. Just a rundown of this program, it is based on retaining employees and adding jobs to our economy. And they have to meet a certain payroll and be in a certain zone in our community to qualify. So the city has, I believe, 6 slots for nominations. We have done this once before. Back in 2013, the council approved it, and it expired in 2018. So now they're coming back to us because they have a lot of equipment purchases to make with the expansion of the hospital and could take advantage of this incentive during that time. So just a rundown of the hospital project. You probably already know this. It's a $217 million spend in our community. It'll be 254,000 square feet, 120 beds. They've committed to retaining 659 employees and adding about 15 more. And we have representatives from Ryan LLC. Sierra is here tonight to answer any questions, as well as Shelby Brown from Wadley Hospital, who wrote a letter of support. So the local administration is on board in supporting this application as well. Happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions? Very good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Ms. Brown, thank you for being here as well. Spouse of the Texarkana, Arkansas Mayor, Alan Brown. So we're glad to have you with us this evening. So that can be a mixed blessing, I'm sure. So anyway. All right. So at this time, I'll entertain a...
Mayor,
yes, sir. Mr.
I'd like
Harp?
to make
Yes,
an
sir.
amendment to this resolution.
Okay.
It's been requested that we add a section 3 at the end of this resolution that states the enterprise project shall take effect on the date of the designation of the enterprise project by the agency and terminate 5 years from the date of designation.
Okay, all right. All right, so I guess your amended motion, we have a motion by Councilmember Harp. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Davis. Once again, this also pertains to a resolution, so there's not a caption. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes. Anyway, thank you for being here this evening, and we look forward to this exciting new project in our community. At this time, the council is going to be going into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, Personnel Matters, to discuss or deliberate the reappointment of Sherry L. Jackson, J.D., as City Judge of the city's Municipal Court of Record in amending Judge Jackson's compensation agreement. And then, once that's done, we will be coming back into the council chambers to reconvene into open session and to continue with our agenda.
of hot air.
Okay, at this time, the council will reconvene into open session, and the next item of business will be item number 1 under reconvene in open session, ordinance number 2022-044, reappointing the municipal judge Sherry L. Jackson, J.D., and approving a 2-year compensation agreement. Do I have a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart, and we have a second by Councilmember Williams. And this item does pertain to an ordinance. So, Ms. Evans, if you'll please read the caption.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, reappointing Sherry L. Jackson, J.D., as municipal judge of the Municipal Court of Record in the City of Texarkana, Texas, for a 2-year term, approving a compensation agreement and determining the salary for the office of municipal judge, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes unanimously. Once again, Judge, we want to thank you for your service to our great city, representing our municipal court system. You do a remarkable job, and we just appreciate, on behalf of the council, the great job that you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. At this time, we move along to first briefings. We have one first briefing item this evening. It's resolution number 2022-043, naming the new bridge over Wagner Creek on Gibson Lane as the Officer Jason Sprague Memorial Bridge. And we have our police chief, Chief Kevin Schutte, who is going to brief the council on this item. Good evening, Chief. Glad to have you with us.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. As many of you remember, back in 2013, we lost a patrol officer on night shift. The incident actually occurred on June the 13th of 2013. The officer succumbed to his injuries on June the 15th. It was Officer Jason Sprague. And since that time, we've been trying to think of a way that we could honor the memory of Officer Jason Sprague and his ultimate sacrifice to this community. Knowing that there's a lot of logistical issues behind that, we thought about naming a street after him, a roadway, but really that takes so much effort to have to change all the 911 mapping and everything like that. So when the new Gibson Road project came to be, we looked at, there was going to be a nice bridge with a pedestrian walkway on each side on that project. And so at that time, I brought to Assistant City Manager Kyle Dooley the idea of dedicating and committing that bridge to the memory of Officer Jason Sprague. And so since it is in Councilmember Harp's ward, we decided to get his blessing and support and see if he would push that or represent that through the council as a recommendation of naming the bridge after Officer Sprague. I talked to Officer Sprague's family, told them of the idea to do that. They thought it was wonderful. Jason's widow, Stephanie, thought it would be great because it's 9 years since the event, and his son is now old enough, Caden is now old enough to understand a little more about the things that happened. He was very small at the time Officer Sprague, of Officer Sprague's death, and so she thought it would be a great thing to be able to do, and was very touched by the gesture. So what we're asking to do is just to name that the Officer Jason Sprague Memorial Bridge, and have a podium-style monument on each side of the pedestrian walkway with a bronze plaque on top of the podium where people can stop and read, about Jason Sprague and his service to the city and his end-of-watch date and all of that. That's going to be worked out at a later time. The city and staff's going to be able to put a sign on the bridge, a green sign that just designates it as that, and the monument will be something separate. Thanks to Texarkana Funeral Home and Vickers Fuquay, I've been talking with him, and he's trying to look at a way that maybe they can help us with that. And so we're thankful to them too, and I'll be letting you know a little more about that in the future. But the police department would be very grateful if you would agree and approve naming the bridge over Wagner Creek the Officer Jason Sprague Memorial Bridge.
Any questions for the chief on this matter? Thank think that's very appropriate, very fitting. I certainly remember when this tragic event took place. It's one of those dates and times that I'll never forget. When we have the actual ceremony, I'll have more to share at that time. But it was a very tragic time in the history of our city with our police department. But I do recall there was such, and Chief, you'll remember this as well, there was such an outpouring of support from other law enforcement agencies. Our sister city, Texarkana, Arkansas, they were very supportive, and at the hospital early the next morning when I went by there to see, to check on the officer, Officer Sprague, and it was just very touching, the outpouring of support that there was from the region, as a matter of fact.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Chief. Appreciate your time this evening. At this time, move along to our public hearings. We do have a total of 4 public hearings this evening. Item 1 is ordinance number 2022-036, granting a specific use permit to allow the location of a single-wide HUD code manufactured home on lots 1 and 2, Block 2, Grandview Edition, located at the southwest corner of Finley Street and McBride Street. Curtis Murray, owner. At this time, we'll declare the public hearing open on this ordinance. If anyone would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward, at this time I will declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Matlock. Ms. Evans, the caption?
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning map showing the location, boundary, and use of certain property by the granting of specific use permit number S-750 to allow the location of a HUD code manufactured home on lots 1 and 2, Block 2, Grandview Edition, located at the southwest corner of Finley Street and McBride Street in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. Item number 2, ordinance number 2022-037, granting a specific use permit to allow the location of a daycare on an approximate 2.58 acre tract of land, being Tract 3, Chancellor Beach Headright Survey A-731, located at 3700 North Robinson Road. Christine Bolton, owner. At this time, I declare the public hearing open. If anyone would like to address the council on this item, please come forward. At this time, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance? We have a motion by Councilmember Page and a second by Councilmember Harp. Ms. Evans, the caption?
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning map showing the location, boundary, and use of certain property by the granting of specific use permit number S-751 to allow the location of a daycare on a 2.58 acre tract of land, being Tract 3, in the Chancellor Beach HRS A-731, located at 3700 North Robinson Road in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ordinance passes. Item 3, ordinance number 2022-038, granting an amendment to PD-20-6 GR for site plan approval on Lot 1, Block 1, Richmond Moore subdivision located at 5605 Richmond Road. Kurt Patton, PHRMG Developers, owners, and Marcus Ferran, agent. At this time, I declare the public hearing open. If anyone would like to address the council on this item, please come forward. At this time, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams and a second by Councilmember Harp. Ms. Evans, the caption?
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending PD-20-6 GR for site plan approval on Lot 1, Block 1, Richmond Moores subdivision located at 5605 Richmond Road in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item number 4 is ordinance number 2022-039, rezoning lots 11 and 12, Block 5, Watts Addition, located at 1324 Bowie Street, from two-family 1 to commercial, Thomas Turner, owner, and Jerry Johnson, agent. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open. If there's anyone who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record.
Good evening, and thank you so very much. I am Jerry Johnson, the agent in question tonight. I am here to address the council. Thank you again for the opportunity to do so, about our desire to do a food truck park in this area. I'm sure that you are aware that we have approximately 40-plus food trucks throughout the area with no secure place to park. They're moving from location to location, and they're losing quite a bit of their patrons, and a lot of those trucks are going out of business. I know the pandemic closed a lot of businesses down, but it opened up the business of food trucks. There's not a food truck park in Texarkana, Arkansas, nor in Texarkana, Texas. This would be the first of its kind, so we are actually setting a precedence for the area, and I'm happy that we're having an opportunity to do that, Texarkana, Texas. Lots 11 and 12 is now a two-family zoning, and we'd like for that to be rezoned commercial so that we'll give those food trucks an opportunity to succeed. Mayor, I was really excited. Kind of wrote a note about your proclamation, the economical development proclamation that you signed, and you even sealed it. Well, we're here to deliver on it, to make sure that there is an opportunity for businesses to grow and to be productive in the city. Again, 40 to 45 food trucks, and they have absolutely no place to park on a regular basis. So that's what we're offering. There is a need, and we'd like to supply that. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Just what are you planning as far as your hours of operation and that sort of thing?
Well, the food truck park is going to be, at this point, we're going to be open 6 days a week, closed on Sundays. We're going to be serving breakfast and lunch. We have 9 different trucks that are already on board. They'll be serving 9 different cuisines. The actual food truck owners are going to be setting their own hours, but the park will be closed. It's going to have different hours. In the summer, as it will be lighter, longer, we won't close until 9 p.m., but then, of course, as it's darker sooner, we'll be closed at 6. We will have 24-hour security even when we're closed, because some of those trucks will be leaving their equipment there on that property. So we are going to be closing at a decent hour, because we've spoken to the community members there and in some of the surrounding areas. They are super excited, and the only thing they ask of me is that we close before midnight.
And so for those who come to purchase from the food trucks, where would they park?
Well, there are some areas right there, right around the perimeter of the actual food truck park that is applicable for them to park. There's also a church that is not actually functioning right now, right across the street. It is a paved area, and they will be able to park there too. We have been in constant contact with the owner of that property too.
I have a question. Yes, also. During the football season, I know you said 9 o'clock. Will your hours vary then as well? Will it be open? Because I know it's near Grimm.
Yes.
So like the home games, will it be open after, or is that not, or before, I guess?
Well, what we'll do, like I said, as long as it's light out, it's probably getting dark about 8:30, around that time. So our goal is to be closed by 9 p.m., which means that Grimm Stadium will still be active when we're closed.
Any other questions?
That's a good question, by the way.
Any other questions from Ms. Johnson? Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Very much. Public hearing is still open. If there's anyone else who would like to address the council on this item, if you'll please come forward. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is that Ms. Hart?
Yep.
We have a motion by Ms. Hart, and we have a second by Ms. Matlock. Ms. Evans, the caption.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Texarkana, Texas by rezoning lots 11 and 12, Block 5, Watts Addition, located at 1324 Bowie Street in the City of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, from two-family 1 to commercial, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries unanimously. Ms. Johnson, best of luck to you. We certainly appreciate your enthusiasm as we look forward to this project taking place. So best of luck to you. All right. This concludes our public hearings portion of the agenda. We'll now move along to the city manager's report. So Dr. Orr.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a few updates to pass along to you tonight. First off, the press release on Friday naming Gary Smith as the Texarkana Water Utilities Executive Director. So just want to congratulate Gary and look forward to his leadership with the Water Department. Also, just wanted to make note that our farmers market is open this Saturday and every Saturday moving forward till August at the Federal Courthouse and Post Office. Again, that's 7 a.m. till sold out. We also have a partnership for public art bike tours. This is with the Arts and Historic District and Union Pacific Railroad. So there's free appetizers at Pecan Point. It's become a very popular tour to the point that I understand this Friday's tour is sold out. So there is one last remaining tour next week, next Friday. And then Texar, if Kelly Mitchell was here, he'd want me to mention this. But local bands, Brews and Bites, will be Thursday, May 19th. This is 7 to 9 in front of the Pro Theater. Again, this is a partnership with the city, Texar, and the Pro Theater staff to put on this event. Free live music on Main Street. And the only other announcement that I had is I just wanted to recognize J.W. Bramlett, who's here tonight. We received word from the Dale Carnegie course, which he just recently completed, that he received an award for that course. It was a vote by his classmates for the Human Relations Award. So that's fitting for JW to receive that award, and just want to congratulate him on that. And that's all I have.
It's good to have human relations and human resources, isn't it?
Right.
Congratulations, JW. Thank you. I know your mom and dad are proud of you.
That's 1324 Bowie Street.
Anything else, David?
No further
Okay.
updates.
All right, very good. Thank you for that report. We'll now move along to administrative comments. Any comments from the council this evening to the staff? And any final comments from staff to council?
No further comments.
Okay. All right, at this time, the council will go into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, and Section 551.074, relating to personnel matters. Let's see. Pursuant to Section 46.03 Penal Code places, oh, that's just a regular, all right. No action to be taken, is that correct? Okay, so then there will not be any action taken as a result of closed session. So then after the closed session is completed, then we will adjourn our meeting. So thank you all very much for being here this evening, and we hope you have a great evening.